I think the thing about this week's discussion is that it's easy to get distracted by the level of difficulty of the knowledge path and going through and finding the vertex, finding the axis of symmetry, finding the x-intercepts of these parabolas, and then you come to this discussion and it's very easy to overthink it. So in this discussion, basically we see something happening with Chip and that he's going through this maze, and for a while he gets better with each try and then he gets worse. Like there's this time where he begins to get fatigued and so he's not doing well. So it's almost like he's hitting this peak, right, of his ability, and then it kind of declines, which if you think about that, it basically creates a parabola. And after this week on Sunday, I will be posting a video that actually connects this a little bit better to the actual visualization of Chip. But to complete the discussion, you're given this equation for t. And so in this equation for t, we can find his 8th try by utilizing the number of letters in either your first or your last name to substitute for a. That's all you're doing. You're just plugging in a value for a. That's it. So when we do that, we're going to go ahead and enter our 0.5. Now, my name has 5 letters, so but my daughter's has 12, so I'm going to use my daughter's so we can get kind of a interesting look here. So I'm going to have 0.5 times a squared. So and this is the Web 2.0 calculator. If you Google Web 2.0, it's free to use, and you can input it, and look at what it's doing at the top. So I have that squared exponent, and so then I have minus 9a, so minus 9, remember a is 12, because that's the number of letters in my daughter's name. And then we have plus 48.5. So literally, all you are doing is plugging this into a calculator and hitting enter. And the answer is 12.5. So for my daughter's name, T is 12.5. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to say my value of T for 12 letters in a first name is 12.5. That's my initial post. Then in my replies to my classmates, I'm going to look at, well, how does my number compare to them? And what's interesting is somebody with 6 letters may have the same time as my number of 12. So you're going to see an interesting pattern because of that parabolic shape that happens, where sometimes less letters has a better time and sometimes more letters has a better time. And so when you're responding to your peers, that's when you're really answering this piece of the question. So I hope this really clarifies this discussion for you. It's not meant to be a complex discussion where you're looking at all the different parts of a parabola. It's just meant to get you thinking about how interesting the behavior is going to be, that it isn't that the bigger the number, the bigger the value. That's really the connection that's being made here. And on Sunday, I'm going to give you guys a visual and we're going to kind of connect that all together. But for right now, this is the focus of starting to look at the patterns of what's happening as the number of letters in the name changes.